Hey guys, it's another video. I'm back. Hopefully you're back. Hello if you're new. So just quickly, as you can probably guess, I'm in a new location. I'm back at uni, so this is my uni bedroom. It's just occurred to me that the sound might be horrific because it's quite an echoey room. But also, I'm in a city centre now, and also my flat is directly above a train line. So I'm going to apologise in advance because trains probably will go past, car honking, motorbikes, it's all going on. And also it's quite a miserable day today. And my flat's really high up, so it's a bit like whooshy and whistly, and yeah. This is just a disclaimer, pre-apology. So, today's video is going to be on the 2020, you heard that right, 2020 film Tenet. So obviously, this is a very new film. So, I've decided to do two videos for it, one that's spoiler free and one that's not. Made this decision because even though I've been avoiding doing this, I realised I had quite a lot to say, so it would result in a very long video. So this is the spoiler free video. I'll try and keep it spoiler free as possible, but if there's bits that I think that might be spoilers, I'll warn for it, but this is a safe space, so it should be all Gucci. The Google overview, the Google description, whatever you want to call it, the thing that came up when I typed into Google Tenet is: a secret agent embarks on a dangerous time-bending mission to prevent the start of World War III. I went into the cinema having not even watched the trailer for Tenet. I just decided to go in completely blind. I don't regret that decision, but it did make for a lot more like brain work having to go on while I watched it. But you know, straight off the bat, I do have to say this film is freaking crazy, like nuts, off the scale, insane. I mean, like, but that's in no way, shape or form a bad thing. Like, in a good way, it blows my mind. Like, my mind was boggled the whole time. Again, none of that's a bad thing. Like, it's such incredible storytelling. Like, it's just fantastic, amazing, brilliant. Oh my gosh, I could about it all day. My dad described it as The Matrix meets James Bond on acid, and honestly, I have to agree. I've got to agree. It only occurred to me after I watched the film that we never actually learn the main guy's name. Like, there's obviously other characters, you've got Neil, you've got Kat, you've got all that and the other, but we never learn his name. And when I looked it up on IMDb, his character is literally just called the Protagonist, and I really vibe with the mystery of that because it really fits with like the mystery sort of the film, and it's a whole vibe. It just fits with the whole scene and feel that the whole film creates, and we're here for it. My immediate advice for first time viewing of this film is literally don't even blink, because if you blink, you will miss a really important detail. I wish I was joking. But literally, I would say just sit and watch it. Like, don't sit and try and figure out what's all going on or anything, because you will confuse yourself. You will get confused. You will be sat there in utter disbelief for the whole 2.5 hours. Like, you won't have a single clue. I mean, like, the only way I can describe this film is that you are never in the know. Like, you will never fully in the know. Like, if you don't take my advice and you do try and work it out as you're watching, which is what I did, you'll think you know what's going on. You don't. You do not have a single clue. You might have an inkling, you might have a feeling you know what's going on, but you don't have a clue. It's too smart for that. It is too smart. The cast in this film is honestly phenomenal. I'm not sure why, because I'm like 98% sure he's in the poster, but it did not register with me that Robert Pattinson was, is it Pattinson or Patterson? Is in the film. Like, and when he came on my screen, I genuinely was like, behind my mask, obviously, because cinema and COVID rules, but I was gobsmacked. Oh, shocked. And then also, I had no idea that Aaron Taylor-Johnson was in the film, and it took me a solid 20 minutes of like distracted watching because I was trying to remember what his name is, and yeah, that was obviously the first time I watched it. The second time I watched it, I knew his name, so that didn't distract me, so I could enjoy the awesomeness of the film. Also, if you don't know who Aaron Taylor-Johnson is, get a clue. He's Robbie in Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging, but he's also Quicksilver in the Avengers Age of Ultron. Also, in this little point, my dad's input is, and this might be a spoiler, so tread lightly, but what's his name? Kenneth Branagh, I don't know how it's pronounced, makes a really good psychotic baddie, and do you know what? I agree. He's a very good baddie in this. I must say, okay, I need to be brutally honest here, guys. I have a qualm. I have one single qualm with this film. When I watched the film in the cinema, I found that there were parts where the music, the film score of the film, was really loud. And obviously, you need the music to build the tension and like create the atmosphere and everything. But to the point that you can't hear the word, like what people are saying sometimes, is a bit too much. I thought it was just a me thing because I do have some hearing issues, but then my dad said that he agreed that some bits were far too loud and he couldn't hear what was being said. So I just assumed that was that cinema, and then obviously I watched it again in a different city, in a different cinema, and it was exactly the same, and my flatmate also agreed that there were bits where she couldn't hear what was being said. Now, normally that might not be an issue, but in a film where you have to sort of pick up a lot of pieces as you're trying to watch it, not being able to hear what's being said means that you're missing out on bits of information. So that's my only qualm, is that you're trying to make a film that's just like mind-blowing and everything, but you're making it so that some of the audience is missing some of the information that's being given because they're trying to build the atmosphere and the tension is too loud. It's too loud. Just turn it down a tiny bit, literally the smallest bit. It will still build the tension and everything, and we'll be able to hear what's being said. So I'm gonna do a bit now that I'm gonna go into a bit more detail, whilst obviously keeping it spoiler free. But if for some reason you're watching this, you haven't watched it, and you want to go in with no details, I don't know why you're watching my video, but maybe skip to the end bit where I do the ratings, because you'll be safe. So you want to be armed, probably, with a bit more information about the story, so that you're not going in completely blind, like I did. From what my small brain can process of the film, the entire premise is based around the entropy of the world and the way that we move through time. So in Tenet, at some point in the future, someone's figured out how to invert the entropy of things, and basically these inverted things and stuff is a danger to all of life in the past, present and future, because a dude in the present has figured out a way to someone in the present is in the know and has also figured out how to communicate with not only the past but also the future, and basically it's all simultaneous and it could result in the end of the world. That might have actually made you a bit more confused with no context other than that, but going into the film with that context will probably help. or I've ruined everything for you. I don't think I have ruined everything for you because it's just insane. It's nuts of a film, and honestly, that's the tiniest bit of detail for the whole thing. It's a weird time travel type moment because it has people simultaneously working not only in the past, not only in the present, but also in the future. Like, every single time zone is doing its own thing, and it's like, it's just so insane to try and wrap your head around while you're watching it. And I had to watch it twice. With the first time I left the cinema and I was like, I'm still confused. And then the second time I watched it in the cinema, I was like, oh, okay, now that bit does make sense. Oh, okay, so what he's saying now, okay, yeah. But I'm thinking I might need to go a third time just to like solidify that I do know what's going on in the film. There are fight scenes in this film, okay? And I emphasize that because, in my opinion, they are phenomenal. I can't go into too much detail because it may ruin things, but just know that they are so intense, so mind-blowing and mind-boggling, and just generally so awesome. My final spoiler-free point is just be prepared to leave the cinema or film space that you're in feeling completely blown away, but also whilst completely feeling so dazed and confused. Like, the whole 2.5 hour experience will blow your mind whilst also scrambling it. Like, it's an experience, and I stand by that, okay? Because Nolan hasn't just created a film here, he's made a full-on experience. Like, this sticks with me. This film has stuck with me. It's more than just a film. So that's been my thoughts, feelings, vibes, everything on the 2020 film Tenet. So, on to the bit that everyone really cares about, the ratings. So I've actually decided for Tenet, I'm gonna give it a whole new rating because I feel it deserves that. And I'll explain in a moment once I've told you the actual rating. So, this one is called A Whole New Level. While there are many films that I love with a passion, for example Marvel films, Tenet literally blows my mind to a point that I can't even rate it with what I already have. Like, I can't, it's left me with so much like questions, but like so many, like, I can't even put into words the way I felt when I watched it and like after I watched it, and I just have so much to say, and like it left me feeling so blown away. I saw it twice. I've seen it twice in the cinema, okay? And both times I watched it, I was left amazed, gobsmacked, blown away. Like, even the second time when I knew what was going to happen, I was still reacting as if it was the first time. It's just that great of a film. I have got, obviously, additional points to give it. Fight me. The action in this film is just so on point for not only my love of fights, but also my love of action in general. Like, the whole sequences, all of the destruction is just perfect for me. So it obviously gets fight me. I'm giving it another new one. This one gets all the news. This one's called Mind-Boggling because, you know, it's self-explanatory. You don't need me to explain this rating, this additional thing to you, do you? I can't comprehend what has happened. It's just amazing. It's great. It's fantastic. My mind has been blown. And finally, just wow. Need I say more? So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you're gonna watch Tenet, if you've watched any of the trailers, if you've read anything about it before you go and see it, if this is like your first port of hearing about it or anything, like finding anything out about it. I mean, yeah, it's a new thing for me at the moment. I don't know if the sound will be the same. the outside noises are out of my control, so it's a bit frustrating. I've got new lighting. I don't know. Tell me what you think of the lighting. Is it too dark? Is it too weird? I don't know. I want your opinions. Yeah, let me know. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I'll wait for the train. Why? I hate the men that are doing train works. I hate them. Okay.